Hey guys, before I begin this video today, I just want to address what is going on in today's world with this coronavirus pandemic. These are very, very uncertain times. I, for one, am feeling very anxious while also at the same trying to stay calm, cool, and collected. But I will admit it was very difficult for me to get through this video because I was feeling very jittery. My mind was racing. I think it's understandably so. With that being said, I want to say to you guys that my beauty channel and all of my platforms, my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok, my Snapchat, they're all platforms for release. For me, it's my outlet. It's also what I do for a living. But I am so lucky to be able to do what I do and to be able to share this love for beauty and makeup with you guys. Being that this is the language that we speak to one another, I'm going to continue staying positive, staying uplifting, and allowing these platforms to be a source of inspiration and positivity for you guys. I hope you are staying healthy and positive, staying safe, following the rules, staying away from crowds, and doing everything that we are told to do. And I just want to remind you guys that we are in it together and you are absolutely not alone. I love you, and now let's jump right into this video. Hey guys, if you are new to my channel, I'm Maryam. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back for those of you who know me. In today's video, I've gathered up all of my favorite makeup brushes and I'm gonna be talking about them. I'm gonna be using them on my face with some drugstore makeup. Basically, I'm gonna let you know why I think these brushes are the best of the best. So hopefully you will find this video useful. Hopefully you will learn a lot and just walk through it with me. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. Hit that notification bell if you wanna see all of my Wednesdays and Sundays videos. You guys, we are almost at 250,000 subscribers. This is massive. Our Team Truth fam is growing and I love that for us. Let's jump right into this. Best makeup brushes of all time and how to use them. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna start with primer as I always do. For today's video, I'm gonna use this Neutrogena Rice Protein Matte Primer and Serum. Shine Control. Drugstore primer that I tried a couple times already and I've been liking so far. I'm gonna blend that out with this Baby Blendiful by Tati Beauty, as I've been doing with most of my primers lately. And just an FYI, because some of the brushes that I'm gonna be mentioning in this video are kind of on the pricey side, I admit I'm a lover of really high quality luxury brushes. I decided that to maintain balance in this video, I'm gonna be using all drugstore makeup. And also, of course, I'm gonna be giving you guys some alternatives. If a brush is really, really expensive, I'm gonna show you some other brushes that I love that are much more affordable. Okay, primer is on and I am ready for my foundation. For my foundation brush, if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you probably have noticed that I use the same foundation brush over and over again in pretty much every single video. I haven't really swayed from this one because this one is truly my favorite foundation brush of them all. Yes, you guessed it correctly. I am talking about IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Complexion Perfection. Heavenly Luxe Complexion Perfection number 7 brush. So this is a dual-ended brush with a really, really dense but super soft bristle top, kind of rounded but also flared out. And this one applies foundation like an airbrush. On the other side, there's a similar concealer or spot treatment brush, also very, very dense, rounded but flared. So perfect for concealing the under eye or blending it out, perfect for around the grooves of your nose and between the brows, smaller areas. I discovered this brush after attending Makeup by Mario's class, in which he conducted a whole full glam tutorial on Kim Kardashian, and this was the brush that he used on her. I noticed how quickly, how evenly he applied foundation with it. He recommended it, and after I tried it, I became hooked and I stopped using everything else. Now this brush is kind of on the pricey side. It's $48. I know that's a lot. That's the price of like a lot of palettes, but I have good news. IT Cosmetics has collaborated with ULTA to create the same brush, but the ULTA version. So this one is literally called IT Brushes for ULTA, but it's their same super duper dense bristles. Can't speak today, you guys. Rounded but flared. The only difference is the concealer brush. This one is a flat top as opposed to curved top. So I would say this brush isn't as great as this one, but honestly, literally, they are the same. This brush right now is on sale for $23. I'm going to link it below in case you guys are interested in purchasing it. Anyway, let's use it to apply my foundation to my face. Today I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk, which I've been loving, in the shade 570 Medium Tan. I think this is a really nice everyday foundation. You know what? Before I start, let me clip away this hair. It's so annoying. I'm gonna use this brush. I'm such a fan of this one. This brush really does give you flawless application every single time, which is why I keep reaching back for it. And in my stash, I probably have about 6 or 7 of these brushes, all different versions. I have at least 2 of these black ones in collab with ULTA, and the rest are all the original brushes. How fresh and dewy is this foundation though? Really impressive. I feel like this is a really good everyday option. Also, the cool thing about this brush is that if you feel that you've applied too much to one area, you can kind of use these different strokes, almost like a lifting and picking off stroke, to remove some of the product or to stipple it in for a more even application. From the foundation brush category, I'm also a huge fan of the Wayne Goss brushes, particularly these two from his face collection. These you can get on beautylish.com. I will link it for you as well. They're also kind of on the pricey side, $45, less than IT Cosmetics actually, but these also give that super airbrushed finish to your foundation. And if you look closely, they're both kind of duo fiber. So you've got longer bristles and shorter bristles. I'm also a big fan of the Hourglass Vanish foundation brush. This one is the original brush that came with the Vanish stick foundation, so it was originally meant for that type of creamy formula rather than liquid. But this brush is so serious, you guys. I travel with this brush all the time. $46, also pricey. Okay, for my concealer today, I don't really like drugstore concealers, to be frank, but I do have some concealers here in front of me that I want to test out. Specifically speaking, I have this Radiant Cream Concealer from Neutrogena. Just got it in the mail the other day. I haven't tried it. Why does this feel like Pat McGrath? Interesting. Really like the applicator too. It's very, very flat, but then wide. Not bad at all. So the shade that I'm applying right now is Bisque Light Medium 02. Don't really like to use brushes to blend out my concealer, but for the sake of today's video, I'm gonna use this side of the brush just to test it out to see if it's as good as the original brush. And I would say it is. It's just as good. I would say I prefer the flat top over the rounded top for this precision brush. Really, really easy to use and easy to buff out. So really, if you're looking for a foundation and a concealer brush in one, then $48 for this original brush isn't terrible. $23 is certainly better. Oh my God, my cat. Okay, for powder, I recently tested out this Catrice Cosmetics Light Illusion Loose Powder in yellow. Tested it in my video with my girl Laura Lee, and I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I really like the way that it minimized and covered up my porous areas. Not sure if I would like it for the under eye. So for the under eye, I'm gonna use my Maybelline Master Fix, but I actually do have a special technique that I like to use for the under eye. I always get a ton of questions about the brush that I use to seal in my under eye concealer, and I'm never really great at responding because I don't have one specific brush for the under eye powder. Rather, it's a shape that I go for. So the shape is something like this. Smaller than your regular powder brush, but just as fluffy. So this brush, as you can see, has no name, so it's probably one of those old school Coastal Scents or, I don't know, BH Cosmetics, one of those types of brushes. And I looked around in my stash. I have so many more of this version. Oh, this one's clearly dirty. Okay, this one is from Motives Cosmetics, and this one is called the Big Shader brush. Basically, it's the same shape, kind of like a really large eyeshadow blending brush. I also really, really like the Powder and Sculpt brush from Charlotte Tilbury. Looks like this. This one is bigger, but it's tapered, so it can easily get inside the crevices of your under eye. And last but not least, Bdellium Tools, or Dellium Tools, or Bellium Tool, I have no idea. Brush number 788, angled on the side, also very, very fluffy and easy to use, and it's perfect to get inside this groove. So this is the brush that I'm going to use today on one eye, and then I'll show you the Charlotte Tilbury on the other eye. I dip it to my powder and tap that right under the eye. Easy peasy. Now same thing with the Charlotte Tilbury brush. This one I imagine is probably somewhere around $40, but the Bdellium Tools number 788 is only $14. Both work, but I prefer a smaller, just a little bit more precise brush for the under eye specifically. Now to apply powder to the rest of the face, I really only reach for one brush that I consider my absolute favorite, and it's the Wayne Goss number 11 brush. You can also get this one at Beautylish. I use this one actually in my previous video to apply bronzer, so this is a very versatile versatile brush that you could use for any types of powder, whether it's translucent, pressed, whether you want to bronze or sculpt or apply blush or even highlighter. So this is a really good one. I think it's $48, but it's totally worth it. So I'm gonna dip gently into this Maybelline powder. I'm gonna apply that here using a pressing motion, kind of like that. And then I'm gonna sweep the rest of the powder to the perimeter of my face. Oh, I forgot, I wanted to use the Catrice powder. We dip into the Catrice. I'm gonna use that one for the center of my face because I specifically liked how it looked in that area. So now for my bronzer. You guys might remember a couple years ago I came out with my first collaboration with PIXI Beauty, and one of the products in my collection was a brush. This was my Strobe and Sculpt brush, a dual-ended brush that was meant for all of your sculpting, chiseling, contouring, highlighting, blushing, and powder needs. And because this brush was synthetic, you could even use it to apply your foundation and creams. It was that good. And it's still that good, but unfortunately it's no longer available. When I came out with this brush, I was very inspired by all of the contouring and highlighting brushes that I have been using, specifically the Japanese ones, and I really wanted to create something that is very versatile. So generally speaking, when contouring or bronzing, this is the shape that I like to go for. Something that is very dense, rounded, but kind of big so that it can get in the grooves of your face if you press the brush together, or it can easily take over an entire 5-head like mine. And then specifically for highlighting, I look for something that is tapered, but also very fluffy and easy to control. So I'm not gonna use this brush today, but I will reach for something that I've discovered recently that I find to be kind of similar, not as good, but really good. So this is the Wander Beauty dual-ended brush. This one is much larger than my original Strobe and Sculpt brush, so it may not work for everybody, but it's still a really decent product. Also very fluffy, very dense, and I think it gets the job done. So for my bronzer today, I'm gonna reach for this Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder Bronzer. I have two here in the shade Suntan 3 and Sunkissed 2. I'm gonna use this one as my bronzer. Ooh, kind of a pigmented bronzer there, Milani. Not bad, but I don't know, perhaps a little too pigmented for my liking. I'm gonna have to blend that out with my powder brush. Now I'm gonna do the same thing here, just a little bit of warmth, and I'm going on a diagonal, specifically using the angle portion as a guide, kind of curving it up here. Ooh, there's a lot of pigment. Their blush brush is really nice too, also curved, very dense, and very soft and fluffy. So that's what I generally gravitate towards when looking for brushes. I want it to feel nice on my skin. Oh, for my blush today, I'm actually using my girl Jen's From Head to Toe collab with PIXI, and it's her glowy powder in Wednesdays. I love this color a lot. It's just really prink. You guys, trying to get through this video. Oh man, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot on my mind, and you know, as much as I'm trying to disconnect right now, it's proving to be a little difficult. But anyway, this glowy powder, which doubles as a blush and a highlighter, is just so pretty. I love the shade. It's very complimentary to my skin tone because it's the opposite undertone from my skin tone. The blush is more on the cool side. I am definitely more on the warm side. There you go. The next category is something that is very specific to me. I don't know if everybody else does their makeup the same or uses these types of brushes for this specific technique, but for my detail contouring, specifically speaking, contouring around the mouth and around the nose and hollowing out these cheekbones, I like to use a much more precise brush. I whipped out a bunch of brushes that I kind of like to use for that specific technique, and this is what they all look like. As you can tell, these are all squared brushes with a flat edge. They're all a little bit different from one another, but still very similar, and they do the same thing. Basically, they apply your contour powder in a very precise manner. So the last few days I've been using this one from, I think it's Lime Crime, honestly. It is Lime Crime, yep. And what I like to do is basically just add a little chisel under my bottom lip, maybe a little bit around the mouth, a little bit right here, around my non-existent nose bridge, and kind of just separate this section of my nose from the top. I'm not certain if this brush is still available, so I found some others that are very similar that I still love and use and reach for. I have this one from Motives, also very, very similar. Probably the most similar to the Lime Crime brush. Then I have this Morphe M572. This one is very, very, very square. So it's perfect for nose contouring or for hollowing out right here, just in this one very tiny area. And then the final brush from this category that I am absolutely obsessed with and I reach for often. This is the Sigma 3D HD Precision brush. Looks like this, kind of like a pencil edge, comes to a point, but let me show you what it does. I'm gonna go for this Sunkissed 02 Milani bronzing powder. Grab just a little bit on the brush. Look how precise this brush is. Ma'am, this is sick. This is definitely not for everyday usage, but if you want that super chiseled contour, if you really want your features to pop, I would highly recommend this precision brush. Also great for underneath the mouth, kind of just adding a little bit of that without making it look like a mustache. Of course, afterwards, you do need to kind of powder it down and make sure that it's not as harsh as it looks right now, but that is the trick. Love that brush so much. Time for brows. For my brows, there's one brush that I like more than others, and it is this very cute and simple number 6 brush from Doll 10 Beauty. I like this one because it has a very nice sturdy spoolie on one end, and then on the other end it has this very precise, very fine edged, stiff bristle brush, angled, so you could perfectly apply your brow powder. So let's do that. I actually don't have any brow powder here in front of me, so I'm gonna use a taupe eyeshadow. Similar technique as seen in my previous video where I used a piece of toilet paper. If you guys haven't seen my retrying old favorite makeup and makeup techniques video, I'll include it up here and also down there for you guys. Anyway, so the technique with this brush is really, really simple. Basically just apply powder and brush it out. And because of how precise and how stiff the bristles on this brush truly are, you can really get detailed and even draw individual brow hairs just with eyeshadow. Funny thing is, I don't think this brush is actually sold separately as its own unit. I think it came with another brow product from Doll 10 Beauty, but clearly I was more impressed with the brush and I just keep reaching back for it. It's so, so good. Just realized I might need a wee bit more powder right here. Alrighty, you guys, I think we are done with the face makeup outside of highlighter. I'm ready to dive into the eyeshadow category. First and foremost, primer. I don't have a drugstore primer that I love for my eyeshadow, so I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty. If you can recommend a great primer that's from the drugstore, I'm all ears. Please leave it in the comment section. But so far, I haven't really tried anything that's comparable to my Fenty Beauty primer. I love this one so much. It's just so tried and true. It's perfect for me. For my eyeshadows, I didn't really want to reach for new makeup in this video just because, I don't know, I don't really feel like reviewing new makeup right now at the current moment, you know what I'm saying? But I did receive this PR package from Milani. It's their collaboration with Salt and Pepper. Something just flew out of it. It's a lip liner. I got it. I did show this on my Insta stories about a week ago before things got really, really crazy. I was really feeling this PR package. I thought it looked like a boombox. Just seemed very, very cool. And when you open up these eyeshadow palettes over here, they actually look like CDs. It's so, so cool. It's me with my boombox carrying it on my shoulder. So we have 2 eyeshadow palettes here, very necessary and hot, cool, and vicious. Not really sure what kind of a look I want to go for today. I don't know, I just feel like these palettes are popping and I kind of want to dip into them, and they are $20 each. Generally speaking, my favorite eyeshadow brushes are from GOSS. They are very, very pricey. I have the Eye Collection, which is over $200 altogether. I also have some individual brushes that are still very, very pricey, but I have gathered some brushes that I use from Morphe and from Sigma that, although don't feel as nice on your lids because they are a lot stiffer and they're not as soft, but essentially they do the same thing. So here I have the GOSS 04 brush in 2 different colors, but essentially it's the same brush. Just a really luxurious, beautiful, super soft, fluffy blending brush that's great for applying in your crease or for your transition. I have them in pretty much every single color from every single collection, but I found an equivalent from Morphe and from Sigma that basically do the same thing but don't necessarily feel as nice. Morphe M514 brush looks very similar to my GOSS, and the Sigma E25 blending brush, this one I actually reach for a lot. I would probably recommend this one over the Morphe. I'm gonna put the Morphe down. I'm not gonna talk about her anymore. Sigma E25 blending brush is the one brush that I always find myself reaching for. I'm gonna utilize her today. I'm gonna pick up this pretty yellow shade here because I'm starting with the yellow because I really want to be happy, you guys. And yellow makes me happy. I'm gonna pack that onto my crease. As you can see, this is a really nice packer brush because it's kind of flat on one side, so you could use it to pack the color on and then also use the edge to blend the color out. Next up, I like to take something a little bit more precise. From Wayne Goss, that would be number 06 brush. It's narrow on one side and kind of fluffy flat on the other side. Brushes are really unique. You can't really find exact duplicates of his brushes in Sigma or in Morphe. You can kind of come close, but it won't be exactly the same. So I was looking for an equivalent to this Wayne Goss 06 brush in my stash, and I gotta say that the Sigma E25 is still the one that comes the closest. It's got that same wide on one side, narrow on the other side type of shape. My suggestion is, if you like this brush, get several, because although I like to go between this one and the 04 in Wayne Goss, in Sigma it would be the same brush. Let's reach for this brown here. I like this brush because of how precisely it applies the shadow. Ooh, this brown and yellow combo is actually making me kind of happy. I like that. So then I'm gonna take the previous brush, E25, dip into a little bit of yellow and just go over those edges, kind of just blend them into each other so that it's not so harsh. I wasn't really going for a fall look, but it's feeling very much like autumn vibes right now in my eyes, which is fine by me. I ain't mad at it. Not going anywhere anyway. A little bit more brown. Next up, Wayne Goss brush 05. This is a really tiny little blending brush, which is perfect for the outer corner or for the crease. This is really great for those of you who have smaller lids or a narrower lid space, or if you have mono lids and you want to fake a crease. This, I would say, is the most Asian eye friendly crease brush. Sigma equivalent being the E36 brush, but it's not as precise. This one, as you can see, fluffy and soft, but still kind of dense, whereas this one is just really soft. I'll try to use both just to see if there's any difference. So I'm gonna pick up this darker brown shadow here, kind of like a dark chocolate color. Not super pigmented, but good enough. I'm gonna use that to basically add depth and dimension to the outer corner of the lid and crease. And then I'm gonna run that through my actual crease, through the fold, which is right here. See, so this brush, because it's just so precise, it makes it really easy to apply color exactly where you want to apply it. And then it just makes the blending seem very seamless. I'm gonna go back with the previous brown shade and just add that in, blend that out. Now for the other eye, I'm gonna pick up E36. This one, because it's so fluffy, it doesn't grab onto the pigment as well as the Wayne Goss brush. So you're seeing a lot more fallout, and it's just a little bit harder to control. It's just too fluffy. So I would say this brush would be really good for blending out small areas, not necessarily for packing color on, whereas the Wayne Goss brush is more about both. It's like a technique brush, but this one is still good to have. Thinking I want just a pinch more yellow. I just want this eye look to be a little sunnier. Oh, I forgot that I applied this pink blush highlighter. Kind of clashing a bit right now with my eye look. I'm kind of a hot mess today. My absolute favorite lid brush is this super simple flat eyeshadow brush from Sonia Kashuk. I got this one in Target probably like 12 years ago, and I still use it today. It's really great quality, but unfortunately I don't think you can get it any longer. Now I've kind of drifted to using more synthetic bristle brushes, kind of like this one from Urban Decay or this one from Royal Langnickel. They're basically the same brush, curved at the top, very flat. They look like concealer brushes, but because they're synthetic and because they're so dense and so flat, they pick up eyeshadow really great and they adhere it really great to your lid. I'm gonna go for this rust metallic shade here. I'm gonna add that all over the lid. Of course, you can also use your fingers. I think it's even better than a brush. Just make sure your fingers are clean. Make sure you wash those hands. I'm not really in love with the quality of these eyeshadows. I don't know. I was just expecting a lot more from this eyeshadow palette. I think I've seen this many times before. Anyway, going back to brushes and back to my Wayne Goss brushes that I love. There are two brushes that you must absolutely get from his collection. They are the 07 and the 05 brush. The 07 brush is actually set to be a lip brush, but I use it specifically for the under eye to blend out, to blur, and also to darken and sharpen my lower lash line. And now the 05 brush is a precise little brush that you could use for your inner corner or for the highlighter under the brow. There are definitely some equivalents in Sigma and in Morphe. I found Sigma's detailed lip L04 brush to be very, very similar, although smaller, but it feels the same. The bristles seem to be the same density, though not as soft, but still pretty good. I'm gonna start out with my highlighter. Going back to the same palette, I think I'm gonna pick up this shade, kind of a nice pinky shade. I'm gonna add that here as well. What I like about this brush specifically is that although it's very precise, it's not super tiny. You could use it to add a touch of highlighter or to blend it. And of course, you can also use it to add a shimmery highlighter. Oh, that was necessary. That was so necessary. Yes, thank you. All right, and now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna start with the yellow, then go to the lighter brown, and then to the darker brown, and I'll kind of show you the technique that I use with this specific brush. Because it's flat on one side, you can easily pack on the color. You can also use it to clean up the top of the eyeshadow. Next, I'm just gonna wipe off the brush, pick up the next shade, and apply that a bit closer and a little bit more precisely. Man, this is such a good brush. There really isn't anything out there like this one. And it's also just so soft and precise. It doesn't feel like it's tugging on your skin or that it's irritating your skin or scratching your skin. That's something that's very important to remember when it comes to eye brushes. I feel like it's more important to invest in really high quality eye brushes rather than face brushes because this eye area is just so delicate. You don't want no pulling and tugging. Darkest color, pushing that straight into the lashes. Also winging it out because that's just what I feel like doing today. Okay, I think the look is coming together. I'm not as frazzled as I was before about it. I think I'm just gonna add a line of liner using this Essence Super Precise Eyeliner. I've really been liking Essence Cosmetics products lately. I think they've been delivering. This liner is indeed super precise, but not super duper black. Kind of impressive actually. A very thin formula. Feels like a marker applied with a brush. Ooh, this might be the perfect liner for Twiggies. All right, I'm gonna apply my mascara, my lashes, my lips, and I will be right back for the highlighter and for the final brush in my recommendations. All right, lashes are on, mascara is on, lips are on. A little bit of PIXI brow gel for those brows. Boom, boom. For the lips, I decided to go with the new Salt and Pepper Milani Collab. Lip liner 240 in Shoop. And lipstick number 27 in Shoop. All right, highlighter brush is the final brush that I want to mention to you guys, and it's this Chikuhodo, also from Beautylish, highlighter brush. This one is the most incredible, the softest, the fluffiest, the sexiest highlighter brush you will ever own in your life. I'm gonna use it with my Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter here, just to show you how precisely and how flawlessly it applies that highlighter. All right, you guys, we have made it to the end of the video. I'm looking a little bit more put together and a little bit less frazzled, although I think my jitters and my anxiety is totally understandable given the fact that these are very uncertain times and there's just a lot going on. It was actually kind of hard for me to get through this video because my mind was racing. It was here, but also everywhere at the same time. But that's just the reality of the situation. And I'm sure I am not the only one who is feeling this way. With that being said, I hope you guys still enjoyed this video and I hope you were able to learn something from this. I definitely did try to gather up all of my favorite brushes, the best of the best, the ones that truly stand out from my massive stash. I probably own over 1,000 brushes. So these are the ones that I continuously reach for. These are the ones that stand out amongst others. I love you guys. I will see you in my next video. I'm going to continue making videos, business per usual. This is sort of a release for me and I'm pretty sure it's probably an escape for you. I love you so much and I will see you in my next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, be kind to one another. I love you guys.